As a Jamaican national living right here in Canada, I am royally annoyed of the lack of black representation. I know for sure that every corporate setting that I've worked in, I've always been the only black person there, and that has been my experience right here in Canada.
Liquid means rewind, the gunshot means forward. You requested it, so Toronto Unfiltered, rewind it, rewind it, rewind it, rewind it.
Listen, can we talk about how a Jamaican man can get depressed when he comes to Canada? A lot of people had warned me about this before my husband came to Canada, that listen, don't force him, let him come on his own time, because when the Jamaican man them come to Canada, it take a toll on them, and especially if the man was coming from a situation where he was in a corporate job, where he was getting paid a really good salary with benefits and all of that. When he comes to Canada and have to adjust his life as a Jamaican national living right here in Canada, I am royally annoyed of the lack of black representation that is there within the Canadian workforce, especially when it comes to corporate Canada, and especially when it comes to management within corporate Canada. When I look in the corporate world, when I look into those workspaces, I'm not seeing enough black people, and I know it's not because we're not qualified. I know it's not because we're not qualified. We are qualified. A lot of people who I know within my circle have their master's degree, have management experience from back home, but yet when you look at corporate Canada, you don't see black people taking up these spaces. And I feel like there's a fundamental problem with that. And there's always going to be that issue of, workplace culture not being balanced, because we are not represented there, and we are always going to feel like we just don't fit in. Like the other day, the place that I'm working right now, there was another black person there, and it was the most at home I felt because I had a black person sitting beside me. Now, I know it shouldn't really matter, but it does matter. It does matter that we see people who actually, look like us, who talk like us a little bit, who share similar values as we do, because, you're selling a diverse environment. One of the things about Canada is that it's so diverse. But when you look in certain spaces, we're not taking up those spaces.
Okay, I've debated on asking this because I can just see the comments. But I don't give a I'm here to ask the question everyone's scared to, and I've thought about this for a long time. Why is it, why? Does the Canadian government have some kind of a program with India? Why is it that the majority of our immigrants are coming from India? I just want to know. Are we promoting immigration to Canada in India? Do they have posters plastered there? Move to Canada, move. What is going on? I just want to know, right? Why? I mean, I get it. Our immigration system, there is no system. It's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all. And people don't have moral compass, so they're not like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go there because they're already having issues. They're like, no, my issues are more important. I want a better life. I'm sorry, if you are actively moving to Canada right now, hi, if you are actively moving to Canada now, why? There are no family doctors here. There are not enough houses here. Classrooms are overfilled. Teacher shortages up the wazoo. Over 2 million at the food bank. And by the way, if you try to protect yourself when somebody's breaking in, you'll be charged, because that literally happened 24 hours ago.
This criminal that's wanted by the police breaks into this guy's house. This guy gives him a beating, and this guy gets charged. And the other guy gets charged. But something is broken. I know if someone breaks into my house or someone else's, you're going to fight for your life. This guy has a weapon. You're going to use any force you possibly can to protect your family.
So again, if you are actively moving to Canada, why? Why? And if any of you know why it is mainly people from India moving to Canada, why? Again, do we have some kind of initiative program for Indian people? I just want to know. Why isn't it? I don't know. Y'all, these are questions I have and I need answers to.
And this is not applicable to all situations. Sometimes some people come and them land in a really good job and it's equivalent to what they had in Jamaica. I'm not talking about those circumstances. I'm talking about, you know, when the man come to Canada and he have to do something completely different from what he used to doing back home in Jamaica. That will take a toll on your man. When we say that will take a toll on your man, that will take a toll on your man. And I know coming to Canada is an opportunity for a lot of people. A lot of other men there and them well on the bus, and them when them come to Canada, them get to do things that they never did before with themselves. Not talking about those people either. But I know for sure that a lot of Jamaican men, when they come here and they have to be working some odd jobs, when they have to be doing some things that, you know, they never did before, when they used to have money a certain way at Jamaica, now they come to Canada, they have to watch every dollar with them spend. It take a toll upon the man. So if you have a Jamaican man who is transitioning into the Canadian, and not to mention the culture, because I feel like that's my husband's biggest pet peeve, it's just, you know, getting used to the Canadian work culture, because the working environment here is so different from Jamaica that it shocks your system. It really does shock your system when you come here, when you're not used to that, when you're used to a more relaxed environment, when you're used to an environment where, you know, you can take 2-hour lunch break. No, you only get 30 minutes. It takes a toll on you. But I really just wanted to say, acknowledge that our men have mental health issues as well. And if you have a Jamaican man or a man from anywhere else that is going through depression, acknowledge that, you know, his feelings are valid and exercise some patience with him. Anyway, bless up on yourself. I remember when I used to work in, like, you know, lower paying jobs, like, you know, a front desk job or whatever, you would see a lot of black people there. And I know I have met so many Jamaican people, you know, working in that kind of space and in that kind of environment. But when you go into the corporate setting, you don't see it as much. Why is that? Why is that? Is it that, and these very same people who are running front desk, these people have their degrees, master's degrees, some of them. But when you look in the corporate setting, it's only 1 and 2 of us. You're only going to see 1 and 2 of us. Now, I'm not going to blame anybody because, you know, like, it's your business, it's your choice. You choose how you want to populate, you know, the field when it comes to that. However, I think black people need to start making and starting their own businesses so that we can create spaces for ourselves. The other day I walked into a Walmart, and when I looked around, everybody in there was Indian. Literally all of the staff was Indian. And when I looked at the wall, I know this store is managed by an Indian. And him clearly I had a spare Indian. And it just goes to show that we have to create opportunities for ourselves. We have to, and this is not about being racist or anything like that, you know. I just feel like we are just so grossly underrepresented when it comes to management here in Canada. And unless we fix that, we're never ever gonna feel at home here. Unless we create spaces for ourselves, for us to feel at home. Just like among ourselves, you know, we have created our groups, our own group of people where we know we have all these Jamaican this and Jamaican that and Jamaican that, and we go out, you know, and we have fun and we have, you know, we celebrate our culture and we play domino and whatever. We also need to create corporate settings like that, where we're creating opportunities for our own people. And I know a lot of people are gonna say that them like they run too much Jamaican and whatever. Me not talk about uno for go, right? Me want that. I would love to be in a working environment where I can see 1 or 2 black persons there working. It doesn't have to be Jamaican either. I would love to see to like, you know, when I walk into a building, a corporate building, that, you know, I see 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 black people there as well. I don't know what you guys think about this topic. I know for sure that every corporate setting that I've worked in, I've always been the only black person there, and that has been my experience right here in Canada.
This is David Rodigan, and I want to say big up to the Toronto Unfiltered crew.
Voice of the One Chronics representing for Toronto Unfiltered. Keep watching.
Original Toronto Unfiltered crew. On still my